Welcome to the 1,000 Nights and 1 Night. Now, when it was the 444th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the damsel had answered concerning good manners and eating, the doctor who was trying her rejoined, Thou hast replied aright. Now tell me, what are the stays of the heart and their supports? The stays and supports both number 3. 1. Holding fast to the faith, the support whereof is the shunning of infidelity. 2. Holding fast to the traditional law, and its support, the shunning of innovation. And 3. Holding fast to obedience, and its support, and the shunning of disobedience. What are the conditions of wuzu? 1. Being a Muslim. 2. Discernment of good and evil. 3. Purity of the water. And 4. Absence of material or religious impediments. What is belief? It is divided into 9 parts. 1. Belief in the one worshipped. 2. Belief in the condition of the slavery of the worshipper. 3. Belief in the personality of the deity. 4. Belief in the 2 handfuls. 5. Belief in providence, which alloweth to a man his lot. 6. Belief in the abrogating. 7. In the abrogated. 8. Belief in Allah, his angels and apostles. And 9. In foreordained fate, general and individual, its goods and ills, its sweets and bitters. What 3 things do away other 3? It is told of Sufyan al-Suri that he said, 3 things do away with other 3. Making light of the pious doth away the future life. Making light of kings doth away this life. And making light of expenditure doth away wealth. What are the keys of the heavens, and how many gates have they? Quoth Almighty Allah, And the heaven shall be opened and be full of portals. And quoth he whom Allah bless and preserve, None knoweth the number of gates of heaven save he who created the heavens. And there is no son of Adam but hath 2 gates allotted to him in the heavens, one whereby his daily bread descendeth, and another wherewith his works ascend. The first gate is not closed, save when his term of life cometh to an end, nor the gate of works, good and evil, till his soul ascend for judgment. Tell me of a thing and half a thing and no thing. The thing is the Muslim, the half thing the hypocrite, and the no thing is the miscreant. Tell me of various kinds of hearts. There is the whole heart, the sick heart, and the contrite heart, the vowed heart, and the enlightened heart. Now the whole heart is that of Abraham, the friend of Allah. The sick heart is that of the unbeliever in all Islam. The contrite heart is that of the pious who fear the Lord. The vowed heart is that of the Lord Mohammed, whom Allah bless and keep. And the illuminated heart is that of his followers. Furthermore, the hearts of learned Olema are of 3 kinds. The heart which is in love with this world, the heart which loveth the next world, and the heart which loveth its Lord. And it is said that hearts are 3. The suspended, that of the infidel, the non-existent, that of the hypocrite, and the constant, that of the true believer. Moreover, it is said that the firm heart is of 3 kinds, in other words, the heart dilated with light and faith, the heart wounded with fear of estrangement, and the heart which feareth to be forsaken of its supreme friend. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of the day, and ceased to say her permitted say. Now, when it was the 445th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the second doctor declared, Thou hast said well, quoth she to the caliph, O commander of the faithful, he hath questioned me till he is weary, and now I will ask of him 2 questions. If he answer them both, it is well, and if not, I will take his clothes, and he shall wend in peace. Quoth the doctor, Ask me what thou wilt. And she said, What sayest thou religion is? Answered he, Religion is confession of faith with the tongue and conviction with the heart and correspondent action with the members. He, upon whom be blessing and peace, hath said, The believer is not perfect in belief, except he perfect himself in 5 qualities, namely, trust in Allah, committal of his affair to Allah, submission to the commands of Allah, acquiescence in the decrees of Allah, and that all he doth be done for the sake of Allah. So is he of those who are acceptable to the deity, and who give to him and withhold for him, and such man is perfect in belief. Then said she, What is the divine ordinance of ordinances, and the ordinance which is the initiator of all ordinances, and that of which all others stand in need, and that which comprehendeth all others? And what is the traditional ordinance that entereth into the Quranic, and the prophetic practice whereby the divine is completed? But he was silent, and made no reply, whereupon the Caliph bade her expound, and ordered him to doff his clothes, and give them to her. Said she, O doctor, the Quranic ordinances is the knowledge of Almighty Allah. That which is the initiative of all things is the testifying there is no God, but the God, and Mohammed is the apostle of God. That of which all others have need is the wazu oblation. That which compriseth all others is the ghul's oblation from defilement. The traditional ordinance that entereth into the Quranic is the separation of the fingers and the thick beard, and that with all the Quranic ordinances are complete is circumcision. Therewith was made manifest the defeat of the doctor, who rose to his feet and said, I call Allah to witness, O Commander of the Faithful, that this damsel is more learned than I in theology and what pertaineth to the law. So saying, he put off his clothes and went away ignominiously worsted. Then she turned to the rest of the learned men present and said, O masters, which of you is the Quranist, the reader and reciter of the Quran, versed in the 7 readings and in syntax and lexicography? Thereupon a professor arose and seating himself before her said, Hast thou read the book of Almighty Allah and made thyself thoroughly acquainted with its signs and its verses and its abrogating parts and abrogated portions, its unequivocal commands and its ambiguous, and the difference of its revelations, Meccan and Median? Dost thou understand its interpretations, and hast thou studied it according to the various traditions and origins? Yes, answered she. And he said, What then is the number of its chapters? How many are the decades and verses? How many words and how many letters? And how many acts of prostration? And how many prophets? And how many chapters are Median? And how many are Meccan? And how many birds are mentioned in it? Replied she, O my lord, its chapters are 114, whereof 70 were revealed at Mecca and 44 at Al-Medina. And it containeth 621 decades, 6,336 versets, 79,439 words, and 333,670 letters. And to the reader thereof for every letter are given 10 benefits. The act of prostration it compromiseth are 14. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of the day, and ceased to say her permitted say. Now, when it was the 446th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the professor of Quranic exegesis questioned the damsel, she continued, As regards the prophets named in the book, there is 25, to wit, Adam, Noah, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Lot, Elisha, Jonah, Salih or Heber, Hud, Suyab or Jethro, David, Solomon, Zulkaf or Joshua, Idris, Elias, Yahya or John the Baptist, Zacharias, Job, Moses, Idris, Elias, Yahya or John the Baptist, or the Moses, Aaron, Jesus, and Mohammed. The peace of Allah and his blessings be on them all. Moreover, 9 flying things are mentioned in the Quran, namely the gnat, the bee, the fly, the ant, the hoopoe, the crow, the locust, the swallow, and the bird of Jesus, on whom be peace, to wit the bat. Which is the most excellent chapter of the Quran? That of the cow. Which is the most magnificent verse? That of the throne. It hath 50 words, bearing in each 50 blessings. What sign or verse hath in it 9 signs or wonders? That in which quoth Allah Almighty, verily in the creation of the heaven and earth, and in the vicissitudes of night and day, and in the ship which saileth through the sea, laden with what is profitable for mankind, and in the rainwater which God sendeth down from heaven, quickening thereby the dead ground, and replenishing the same with all sorts of cattle, and in the change of winds, and in the clouds that are compelled to do service between the heaven and the earth, are signs to people of understanding. Which verse is the most just? That in which Allah saith, Verily, Allah enjoineth justice, and doing of good, and the giving unto kindred what shall be necessary, and he forbiddeth wickedness and iniquity and oppression. Which is the most greedy? That in which, quoth Allah, is it that every man of them greedeth to enter the garden of delight? Which is the most hopeful? That in which quoth Almighty Allah, Say, O my servants, who have transgressed against your own souls, despair not of the mercy of Allah, seeing that Allah forgiveth all sins. Aye, gracious, merciful is he. But what school of intonation dost thou read? By that of the people of paradise, to wit and wisdom of Nafi. In which verse doth Allah make prophets lie? And that wherein he saith, They, the brothers of Joseph, brought his inner garment stained with false blood. In which doth he make unbelievers speak the truth? And that wherein he saith, The Jews say the Christians are grounded on nothing, and the Christians say the Jews are grounded on nothing, and yet they both read the scriptures, and so saying, all say sooth. In which doth God speak in his own person? In that in which he saith, I have not created jinni and men for any other end than that they should serve me. In which verse do the angels speak? And that which saith, But we celebrate thy praise and extol thy holiness. What sayest thou of the formula, I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the stoned? It is obligatory by commandment of Allah on all before reading the Quran, as appeareth by his saying, When thou readest the Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Satan the stoned. What seeketh the word seeking refuge, and what are the variants of the formula? Some say, I take refuge with Allah, the all-hearing and all-knowing, and others with Allah the strong. But the best is that whereof the sublime Quran speaketh, and the traditions perpetrate, that he whom Allah bless and keep was used to ejaculate, I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the stone. And quote the tradition reported by Nafi, on the authority of his adopted father, the apostle of Allah was wont, when he rose in the night to pray, to say aloud, Allahu Akbar, God is most great with all majesty. Praise be to Allah abundantly, glory to Allah morn and even be. Then would he say, I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the stone, and from the delusions of the devils and their evil suggestions. And it is told of Ibn Abbas, of whom Allah accepted, that he said, the first time Gabriel came down to the prophet with revelation, he taught him the seeking refuge, saying, O Muhammad, say, I seek refuge with Allah, the all-hearing and all-knowing. Then say, in the name of Allah, the compassionating and compassionate. Read in the name of thy Lord who created man of blood clots. Now, when the Quran heard her words, he marveled at her expressions, her eloquence, her learning, her excellence, and said, O damsel, what sayest thou of the verse, in the name of Allah the compassionating, the compassionate? Is it one of the verses of the Quran? Yes, it is the verset of the ant, occurring also at the head of the first and between every 2 following chapters, and there is much difference of opinion respecting this among the learned. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of the day, and ceased saying her permitted say. Now, when it was the 447th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the damsel had told the professor concerning the difference of opinion between the learned touching the Basmaliah, he said, Thou hast replied aright. Now tell me, why is not the formula written at the head of the chapter of immunity? And she answered, When this chapter was revealed from on high for the dissolution of the alliance between the prophet and the idolaters, he, whom Allah bless and preserve, sent Ali ibn Abi Talib, whose face Allah honored, therewith, and he read the chapter to them, but did not read the Basmaliah. What of the excellence of the formula and its blessing? It is told of the prophet that he said, Never is the Basmaliah pronounced over aught, but there is a blessing in it. And it is reported on authority of him whom Allah bless and preserve that the Lord of glory swore by his glory that never should the Basmaliah be pronounced over a sick person, but he should be healed of his sickness. Moreover, it is said that when Allah created the Empian, it was agitated and with an exceeding agitation, but he wrote on it Bismillah, and its agitation subsided. When the formula first descended from heaven to the prophet, he said, I am safe from 3 things, earthquake, metamorphosis, and drowning. And indeed, its boons are great, and its blessings too many to enumerate. And it is told of Allah's apostle that he said, There will be brought on the judgment day a man, with whom he shall reckon, and finding no good deed to his account, shall order him to the fire. But the man will cry, O my God, thou hast not dealt justly by me. Then shall Allah, to whom be glory and honor, say, How so? And the man answer, O Lord, that thou callest thyself the compassionating, the compassionate, yet wilt thou punish me with fire? And Allah, magnified be his majesty, shall reply, I did indeed name myself the compassionating, the compassionate. Carry my servant to paradise of my mercy, for I am the most merciful of the mercifuls. What was the origin of the use of Basmaliah? When Allah sent down from the heaven the Quran, they wrote, In thy name, O my God. When Allah revealed the words, say, Call upon Allah, or call upon the compassionating, what days you pray for hath. He has the most excellent names. In the name of Allah, the compassionating, the compassionate. And when he revealed the words, Your God is one God, there is no God but he, the compassionating, the compassionate. They wrote, In the name of Allah, the compassionating, the compassionate. Now, when the Quranist heard her reply, he hung down his head and said to himself, This be a marvel of marvels. How hath the slave girl expounded the origins of the Basmaliah? But by Allah needs must I go about with her and happily defeat her. So he asked, Did Allah reveal the Quran all at once, or at times manifold? She answered, Gabriel, the faithful, on whom be peace, descended from it with the Lord of the worlds upon his prophet Muhammad, prince of the apostles and the seal of the prophets, by detached versets, bidding and forbidding, covenanting and commending, and containing advices and instances in the courses of 20 years, as occasion called for it. Which chapter was first revealed? According to Ibn Abbas, the entitled Congealed Blood, and according to Jabir bin Abdillah, called the covered, which preceded all others. Which verset was last revealed? That of usury, and it is also said the verse, when there cometh Allah's succor and victory. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of the day, and ceased to say her permitted say. Now, when it was the 448th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the damsel told the Qur'anist, which was the last verse, he said, Thou hast replied aright. Now tell me the names of the companions who collected the Qur'an in the lifetime of the Apostle Allah. And she answered, There were 4. Ubay ibn Khayyab, Zaid ibn Sabit, Abu Abdiyah, Amir bin Jahar, and Uthman bin Affan. Allah accepted them one and all. Who are the readers from whom the accepted reading of the Quran is taken? They number 4. Abdullah bin Masud, Ubay bin Ka'ab, Maz bin Jabal, and Salim bin Abdillah. What sayest thou of the words of the Most High, that which is sacrificed of the stones? The stones are idols, which are set up and worshipped instead of Allah the Most High, and from this we seek refuge with Allah. What sayest thou of the words of the Most High? Thou knowest what is in my soul, and I know not what is in thy soul. They mean, Thou knowest the truth of me and what is in me, and I know what is in thee, and the proof of this are his words. Thou art he who wottest the hidden things. And it is said also, Thou knowest my essence, but I know not thine essence. What sayest thou of the words of the Most High? O true believers, forbid not yourself the good things which Allah hath allowed you. My sheikh, on whom Allah have mercy, told me that the companion Al-Zahak related, There was a people of the true believers who said, We will dock our members masculine and don sackcloth, whereupon this verse was revealed. But Al-Qutah declared that it was revealed on account of sundry companions of the Apostle of Allah, namely Ali ibn Abi Talib and Uthman bin Musab, and others who said, We will geld ourselves and don haircloth and make us monks. What sayest thou of the words of the Most Highest and of Allah took Abraham for his friend? The friend of Allah is the needy, the poor, and according to another saying, he is the lover, he who is detached from the world, and in the love of Allah Almighty, and whose attachment there is no falling away. Now, when the Qur'anist saw her pass on its speech with the passage of the clouds, and that she stayed not in reply, he rose to his feet and said, I take Allah to witness, O Commander of the Faithful, that this damsel is more learned than I, and Quranic exegesis, which pertaineth thereto. Then said she, I will ask thee one question, which if thou answer this well, but if thou answer it not, I will strip off thy clothes. Quoth the Commander of the Faithful, Ask on. And she inquired, Which verset of the Quran hath in it 23 kafs, which 16 mims, which 140 ayns, and which section lacketh the formula, to whom belong glory and glorification and majesty? The Quranist could not reply, and she said to him, Put off thy clothes. So he doffed them, and she continued, O Commander of the Faithful, the verset of the 16 mims is in the chapter of Hud, and is the saying of the Most High. It is said, O Noah, go down in peace from us and blessings upon thee. That of the 23 kafs is the verse called of the faith, and the chapter of the cow, that of 140 ayns, is in the chapter of Al-Araf, where the Lord said, O Moses, choose 70 men of his tribe to attend our appointed time, to each man a pair of eyes. And the lesson which lacketh the formula, to whom be glory and glorification, is that which compromises the chapters, the hour draweth nigh, and the moon shall be cloven in twain, the compassionate and the event. Thereupon the professor departed in confusion. And Shahrazad, she perceived the dawn of the day, and she ceased saying her permitted say. And so do I cease my tale for the day, until it be morrow.